This week's episode of Enchanted Tiki Talk is brought to you by Kingdom Strollers, providing premium stroller and crib rentals delivered straight to your Orlando area or Disney Resort free of charge. You choose the time of delivery and pickup and we do the rest. It couldn't be easier. Book your Kingdom Stroller rental today by visiting kingdomstrollers.com. And Mickey Monthly, the Disney fans' monthly subscription box. Visit them at mickeymonthly.com. If you can't visit the parks, have the parks sent to you. And by mousepros.com. Let these Disney travel specialists help plan your next Disney vacation. mousepros.com offers free concierge service to help guide you every step of the way in planning your perfect Disney vacation. Let them sweat the details so you can focus on the fun. Visit mousepros.com for a free no obligation quote. Ask for Tiki Bird Sean or any of our friendly agents. And now, on with the show.
Vahidi Mekyoni Mana, ladies and gentlemen, no flashbulbs, please. Our performers are temperamental and easily upset. Thank you for your cooperation.
Oh, look at all the people.
My goodness, you're all staring at us. We better start the show rolling.
Wait, we forgot to wake up the Glee Club.
Hey, howdy, hey, and welcome to Enchanted Tiki Talk. We are your hosts. I'm Sean.
I'm Keith.
I'm Matt.
I'm Scott.
And I'm Alan.
So grab yourself a Dole Whip or a citrus roll, pull up a chair, and enjoy the show. This is episode 197 for the week of July 30th, 2017. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Enchanted Tiki Talk. This week on the show, once again, Keith is not available because he's suffering from a really bad foot fungus, and we wish him a very speedy recovery.
He has dishpan hands from washing dishes last week.
Yes, something to that effect. So, Keith, we're thinking about you, buddy. We're worried. Take care of yourself, okay?
Just stay a little bit away from us.
Yes, very far away. Stay in Ohio.
I hear it's contagious.
So, guys, this week we have a couple of voicemails that we're going to play for you before we get into the meat of the episode. So I'm going to play the first one for you now.
Hi, Tiki Birds. This is Erin. I just listened to your guys' D23 episode about all the latest changes coming to Walt Disney World. And I was just wondering if you guys think that the Magic Kingdom will have a tiered Fast Pass system similar to the other parks at Walt Disney World. And just an additional question, if you guys have the time to answer it, what would you guys think would consist of the first top tier of the Fast Passes that you can only pick one from? Thanks for answering. Great job, guys. Bye.
Thanks, Erin. Thank you for that message. Thanks for taking the time to call the Tiki Hotline. We do appreciate that. So the question, because I'm the smartest person here, and I go to the parks more often than Scott, I think I'm the best person that can answer this question. No, I'm only kidding. But I do go to the parks more than Scott.
I hate you.
Mustardo. And, sorry.
It had to happen.
It had to happen. I just had to get out of the way early. So,
as long as you don't sing.
Maybe. I should have thought of a song this past week, but I still have time. Maybe it'll come in as a commercial. You never know. You'd never, ever know. So, do I personally think that it'll ever come to the Magic Kingdom? I think in the current state of the Magic Kingdom, I don't see it coming in the current state. I think there's plenty of attractions to go around that there does not need to be a tiered system. But that doesn't mean that can change in the future, you know, with Tron coming, and then there's rumors that they might do things to Frontierland as well. But I think in the current incarnation of the Magic Kingdom, there's no reason to have it. And then, but if you're talking about what would be tier 1 in the Magic Kingdom, if you wanted to try to guess, I would definitely guess it would be, I'm going to definitely say Space Mountain, Seven Dwarf Mine Train. I would probably throw Peter Pan into that as well, because Peter Pan is usually consistently at least around a 50-60 minute wait. I don't know about throwing in the mountain, Thunder Mountain or Splash Mountain in there. I don't know if you would. Maybe if you're going to throw one of them in there, it would be Thunder Mountain. I don't think Splash Mountain would need it except in the summertime, which is a possibility. Maybe in the summertime it would become a tier 1. But those are my guesses.
Well, I think a lot of the reason they do tier, or the reason they started the whole tier system is because in Epcot you either had Soarin' or Test Track. And so to kind of split it up, they made you pick one or the other.
Right, because there's not enough attractions for everybody to do. That's
right.
That's the difference.
So based on that, I would think all of the mountains would be in Tier 1. I mean, also, if you're going on that same train of thought, since they put Living with the Land as a Tier 1, would something like the Tiki Room be a Tier 1?
No. I mean, yeah, with that thought, yeah, going with that, but just Epcot, there's just not enough attractions to go to do. That's all it is.
Honestly, I hope that they do not bring any type of a tier system. I understand why they did it in Epcot. I don't like it, but I understand it. But I hope they don't bring that into the Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, Sean, I think like you said, there's so many attractions there that if they did it, it would end up almost ruining crowd control, because by having everything open, it allows people to kind of spread out throughout, where, if they had 3, picked Mine Train and 2 of the mountains, they'd be able to do it, whereas if they only pick 1, you're going to have wait times even longer.
Right. So hopefully that answered your question, and Keith's not here to answer that, but Keith would be wrong anyway, because he would probably
he'd put Country Bear in there.
Yeah, he'd put Country Bear in there, and he'd screw the whole thing up. So hopefully that answered for you. Sorry it took so long to get back, because I think you said you left it. Possibly left a message a couple weeks ago, but I didn't see one in there, because I was actually looking to play some messages this week on the show, so I'm glad I was able to put that on this week. One more for you, and this is Jesse, who's just left Disney.
Hey, Tiki Birds. It's Jesse Fouts here, giving you a call. My last day here at Magic Kingdom, outside of the Enchanted Tiki Room. Just wanted to call and say I was thinking of you guys on this trip. Enjoyed a lot of Dole Whip, and yes, even some Citrus Swirl. But anyways, it's been a wonderful trip here in July. It hasn't been too bad. Enjoyed plenty of good treats and eats, and thanks to your previous shows, got some good ideas on snacks. Even tried the Flame Tree barbecue fries, which were incredible. It's been overall a good time. Got to experience a lot of good things, and anyways, can't wait to hear the next podcast and on my drive home tomorrow as we leave out. But anyways, I wish you guys a good week. Thanks. Bye.
Thanks, Jesse. I know that you're probably loving Mustardo on that episode that you're listening to in your car currently.
It's keeping his drive home entertaining.
Oh, I'm sure it is. He must be loving that, because Mustardo, he's a great guy and all around happy, fun, yellowy looking fella. So, Jesse, thanks for leaving the message. And he stayed at the new Wilderness Lodge Villas, and I know he really liked it.
I'm just glad that he took the time to rub it in, but at least he did get to sample some of the premium treats as far as a Citrus Swirl, not just sticking with a Dole Whip.
Right, exactly.
And he confirmed Keith and my pick for the French fries.
Do they put mustard on that?
Nope.
Oh man, that's a shame. All right.
Do not put that in ruined barbecue.
Yeah.
Don't go to South Carolina.
Hey, now.
That's why I do not like South Carolina barbecue.
And he's never had South Carolina barbecue.
Mustard base, it's disgusting.
You've never even had it. How could you say it's disgusting if you haven't had it? And Scott,
I had the sauce.
But this is why people don't like you, Scott. It's because you don't like mustard. No, you're just...
If that's all it takes for them to hate me, then so be it.
You don't even like Mustardo, and he's a nice guy. Come on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, let's take a quick break.
Lotso Huggin' Bear gives you lots of hugs and lots of love and lots of fun, no matter where you are. All he wants is a little love, and he'll be your friend forever.
Lotso, my Huggin' Bear. I love you, Lotso Huggin' Bear.
From Huggin' Toys.
We are back from break. So this week on Enchanted Tiki Talk, we're going to spend some time talking about the absolute worst attractions in Walt Disney World. So this will be a very hateful episode, I think. I would especially think with Matt being on the show. You know, with Keith being on it, he'll try to spin something and make something positive out of the negative. But Matt, he's just so angry. He's just going to hate everything. I
have to bring balance to the show.
Yeah, but Keith's not here, so there'll be no balance anymore. It'll be
he's rubbed off on you a little bit.
Yeah, it is, hasn't it? Like so much hate in my heart now. Maybe that's just because I'm not working. Maybe that's all it is. But yeah, we're going to talk about some of the attractions that we think are the worst in Walt Disney World, and by the worst I mean like bad, that you might not necessarily spend the time to go see. So we will jump into that right now. And Scott, let's hear your first in our top 5 here.
Well, I've got to do the one that's probably on both your lists and along with everyone else's, but I had to throw Stitch in there.
Oh, of course. But really, the question is I mean, it's on my list. Matt, is it on your list?
Well, of course.
Okay. So here's the question. Why? Why do we hate it so much?
Because it replaced something that was so much better and did the exact same thing.
All right, let's just try to take a step back for a second, all right? What if Alien Encounter was never there? Is Stitch a decent attraction?
No.
You don't think? Taking Alien Encounter out
there. You have nothing to compare it to, so yeah, I mean, it does the exact same thing Alien Encounter did. So if you don't have that to compare it to, then sure, I think it would be a perfectly acceptable attraction. But I mean, they tried to tone it down, and instead they just put a character in there that bring all the kids in the door, and now you're scaring the crap out of the kids, which you were trying to prevent from doing in the first place. So,
but I don't like Stitch. Period. It's not necessarily that it replaced the Alien Encounter. It's more the character for me than what it replaced.
But you look how popular Stitch is. I mean, yes, you might not like him. I mean, I don't like Frozen, but look, I can't deny how popular, that attraction and the whole movie and everything is. You just look how, popular he was, especially at that one point in time where, he had the attraction there. They tried that stage show in Tomorrowland. I mean, he's got that one entrance in World of Disney where he spits on you as you walk in. So, I mean, he's got a fairly decent following. I mean, my kids love watching the movies.
10 years ago, though. Not anymore.
But does he still?
Yeah,
because you look, I mean, the attraction's closed probably more than it's open anymore.
Well, it's seasonal now, so that's right. Definitely.
But you can't do that because it's not a brand new. If that thing was brand new, did not have Alien Encounter in front, you would not have the problem. Now, people were against it from day one because it was replacing Alien Encounter. So I don't think you would have these same issues with people not walking in the door if Alien Encounter wasn't before it.
I mean, as much as I loved Alien Encounter, Stitch's voice annoys me, the chili dog thing, and it's just, to me, I just get annoyed in there.
Yeah, to me, it just feels like it's an inferior product, but once again, you are comparing it. Right, yeah, that's a problem. But like Scott said, those are some of the same reasons why I don't like the attraction. I don't like Stitch. He just comes off as an annoying character to me, especially like when he took over the monorail. Or I don't know if you guys remember when you used to go into the parks during that whatever year of Stitch.
Year of a Million Dreams.
Yeah, Stitch was in the bathrooms talking. You could be in the stall and you hear Stitch going, like, what the heck? I'm trying to pee here, So he's just an annoying character.
It was actually Matt in the stall next to you.
It could have been. It definitely could have been.
I was actually outside eating a hot dog.
A chili dog.
All right.
And that's actually Matt sitting next to you, just breathing on you.
Oh, God. That's gross. Scott, go again. You're number 2.
Again?
Yeah, we all have... Stitch was all on ours.
Okay. Number 2, and I don't know if this is going to be an unpopular one or not, only because it's something that's in pretty much any amusement park, theme park in the world, but Primeval Whirl. 1, it breaks your back, and 2, I don't care what you want to call it, it's not even theming, but it's just a mouse coaster that you can find anywhere else.
I didn't have it on my list because I haven't actually rode that attraction yet. I want to, but I haven't rode it yet.
It was going to go on my list. It would be more in my... It could easily be on my list, but I kind of took it off to put another attraction in there. But Scott, it is not a good attraction. I don't like an attraction. It's a carnival attraction. But then again, that is the place for it in Dino Land, so it does fit with the theming of Dino Land, so I understand that. But really, the theming in the Dino Land, the whole idea for it is awesome. We should probably talk about that one day or have somebody come on to talk about it. But
Safari Mike loves it.
Yeah, well, he likes everything that has to do with Animal Kingdom except for Pandora. And I don't know. Yeah, it's just I just don't like the attraction. It hurts me when I go on that one. That's it.
I almost pulled a U and just put that entire Dino Land section, carnival area, as an attraction.
You could have. I would have given it to you for this, but too late. Matt, what do you got?
My mind just went blank on me.
There's pills for that.
Yeah, go ahead next on your list because I just completely forgot.
Okay, old man. Next on me, I'll stay in Animal Kingdom as well here, and I'm going to head over to the conservation station. While I like the train ride to the conservation station, I don't like the conservation station.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like it.
Like that area as a whole?
The whole area as a whole.
Or just like the petting zoo or like the vet clinic or what?
It's just the whole area as a whole. Because I think what it is that I had a really bad experience the one time I was there, so I have no desire to ever return to it. And one of the times I was there was, when you went inside and you were listening to, you can hear like the sounds of
the dark rooms,
and all that. I put the headphones on and somebody's, I don't know if they sweat or wet something on there got on my face. Somebody puked in one of the rooms, and there was people fighting, waiting to get onto the train. It was just overall, it was just a whole bad. There's something else happened to it. I just can't remember. It was just a whole bad experience. I just did not like it, and it was so hot that day. And it just because of that, it's on my list. Maybe if I went back, it'd be a different story. But because I just didn't have a good experience, I don't want to go back.
That's funny.
That's another area that I have yet to make it out. I keep saying I want to go check it out, even though I know there's not a whole lot out there, but I've never made it out to that part of Animal Kingdom.
I really enjoy it. We went, when we were there the other day, we took the train. We didn't get off because of our Fast Pass, but I like, especially on the inside, as long as, if you can watch them doing a procedure on one of the animals, it's really cool to, actually be there and watch them doing surgery on like a gorilla or a tiger, just, something that you would never really see even in a zoo. And I worked in a zoo as a volunteer as, I think an early teenager or something, and I've always enjoyed that part. So seeing that was really cool. I can probably pass on the petting zoo, but Cooper loves going back there.
So can we talk about when you worked in the zoo? Like, did you peel the bananas for the monkeys or something? Or did you pick up crap for them?
No, I actually
worked in the zoo too, but I'm just giving you a hard time. But I did work in the zoo too once.
No, I did diets for the monkeys and the turtles and reptiles.
I did security. That was fun.
That's not volunteering in a zoo.
No, I got paid.
No.
I worked at the zoo.
I didn't. Mine was free child labor.
Wow, you're silly. All right, who's next? Oh, Matt, you got to
go. Yeah, I can't stand the movies in Epcot. So, like, China, France is okay because you can sit down, but especially China and Canada where you've got to stand up on the leaning post. I'm sorry, man.
Okay.
I've got better things to do than stand and watch some boring movie.
I mean, are you going to go see the new one that's going to come to China? The whole Circle Vision 360? Will you see that?
I might see it once just to say I've seen it, but I wouldn't count on it.
I won't knock you for it because I'm not a big fan of those either, because I like to get on an attraction, sit there, and somebody take me for a ride around and see things, not just stand there. It's been many years since I've seen one of the films, so I can't argue with you on this.
I mean, maybe if I planned it better and hit one of them like early in the morning as opposed to after I've been walking and standing in line already and then I have to stand for 15 minutes or whatever to watch this movie, it might be a little bit better, but I don't want to stand there and watch this movie. I've got other things to do.
No, I hear you.
I can't blame you on that. One, it's standing, but two, because it's 360, I never know where to truly look.
Well, that's why you got to go back and see it again and again and again.
no thanks.
Just stand there and spin in circles.
Right, there you go.
And then just puke.
I do know people that can't see those because of motion sickness.
Right.
Yep.
Got Scott.
All right, I'm going to stay in Animal Kingdom, and this is going to be one that I'll probably get a lot of crap for, but Cali River Rapids, I think I've done it twice in my entire life, just because, one, Animal Kingdom's already hot as I'll get out, and two, I don't want to get soaked and then have to go out and get even more soaked from the humidity. And the line's always really long for that one.
How can you get more soaked?
Because once you start to dry off from the water from the ride, now you've got sweat, and it's just disgusting.
Then you go back on the ride and watch this in wet.
But you have to stand in line
soft.
for 2 hours to go on it. I was actually talking to my wife the other day. I think the last time I ever did that, I'd have to go and look and see. I don't know what year it was, but I know as soon as we got off that, we went and saw the Tarzan Rock show, which is where Nemo is now. So it gives you an idea of how long it was. And we were so soaked, and then going and sitting, for those that don't know, where Tarzan Rocks was, that theater was never enclosed, so there was no air conditioning. So it's almost like the Beauty and the Beast live on stage at Hollywood Studios. It's just metal bleachers, wide open, no fans, but you've got all the heat and humidity in there. So it was just a miserable experience. I've never gone on it since then.
I mean, it's not one that I do often, but I can't say that I dislike it. So I'm like you. I don't want to get soaked and don't want to carry a change into clothes. But I mean, I like the queue of it. I think it's got a well done queue. It's just one of those things that, especially with the kids, I just haven't been on it anytime recently.
I know I'm way back in the beginning of Enchanted Tiki Talk. We did our top 5 attractions, and that made my top 5 list at Animal Kingdom. I actually like the attraction. It's an attraction. Now, I'm going to say it's probably been almost 10 years since I have done it, because I've had kids for the last 6 years or so, and my son hasn't been ready to go on it. So I'm looking forward to that. Maybe on our next trip that we go down with him, he might want to do that. So I think that will be fun. I like the attraction. I have nothing against it. It's a little short. I think it could use an update to the theming, but other than that, I still think it's a good attraction.
Just be that dad that forces him on there. Don't give him an option.
Don't tell him what it is.
Right.
Don't look at the people coming off of it.
So my next one is not at the Animal Kingdom, but it has to do with animals, and that is the Circle of Life in the Land Pavilion. It's a show about like recycling and that kind of stuff, and it's been like the same show for the last 20 years. So the reason it's on there, the thing needs to be updated, and update the show. It's awful.
But it has wall carpet. How can you be mad at wall carpet?
It does have wall carpet. I mean, the wall carpet is like the best part of that show. Just walk in, look at the wall carpeting, because that's like the original part of the pavilion there,
and then
leave, and that's it. That's all I'm going to say.
It's another one I haven't done. There's been times where I've walked past there, going down to Living with the Land or Soarin' or whatever, and as I'm walking past the theater, you see people walking out, and you can tell the show's still going on. They're just like shaking their heads. So that's a sign for me. I'm like, okay, I'll take it. I don't need to go see that one.
I don't even know why that didn't make my list, because like you said, Sean, I probably haven't been on that in probably legit 20 years. But same thing. Exactly. I love walking by, going downstairs and seeing the wall carpet, but I have just no interest. I may do it just because it's been so long since I've done it, and to take the boys. I mean, maybe they'd like it. I have no idea.
Yeah, that's like the thing. It's like, I know that like the people have the big thing for the picture, taking their picture in front of the purple wall at the Magic Kingdom.
Right.
Do it in front of the wall carpet at the Circle of Life show. That's much more interesting. So wall carpet, # wall carpet.
Right.
I'm pretty sure that is a thing too.
Oh, I'm sure.
Next thing that I've got is, Scott had just briefly mentioned it earlier, the Beauty and the Beast stage show. I can't stand it. I mean, it's dated. It's a horrible representation of the Broadway show, which is a watered down version of the cartoon. I can't stand it. Plus, you're sitting out in the sun. I can't tell you the last time I've done it.
If anybody hasn't noticed, Matt does not like music. He does not like song. Doesn't like Frozen. Doesn't like Beauty and the Beast. It's just not people.
He doesn't like classics.
He doesn't like the classics.
I don't mind the movie. I don't like that show. That show, I think, is just old and dated, and unless it's the version that you get on YouTube where Mrs. Potts falls over and you just sit there and watch her kick her feet around. I'll watch that. That's hilarious.
Oh,
See, I've not done that one. I don't know how long either, but I love the show itself. I just can't stand, again, the open theater concept because of how hot it gets. I mean,
right.
It has to be December, January, February for me to even go and enjoy it. Melissa took the kids past couple months and they loved it, and now Cooper wanted to come home and like watch the movie all the time. So, I mean, to me, that movie's timeless. The show itself is still good, but I just can't see sitting out there in the heat.
Okay. What's next for you, Scott?
Another one that people either love or hate, and I'm surprised neither of you have said it yet, but I am not a fan of the Journey into Imagination in its current form.
Oh, you know what? That did not make my list. Is that shocking? I know that I always give Keith a hard time for it, but it did not make my list just because there's just enough there that doesn't make it an absolutely horrible attraction.
There is?
Yeah, well, my kids liked it, so therefore I was able to get some enjoyment out of it. Well, at least my son liked it. Connor liked it. Kelsey did not like it. Kelsey did not like it because it was dark and loud.
Dark and the fans in your face.
Yeah. So, but other than that, it is, it's once again, it's one of those where they've ruined a classic attraction and put this in its place. And this is the second incarnation of it as well, of the replacement. So that tells you something. I'm hoping that maybe they'll make an announcement one day that it's going to be upgraded and the Dreamfinder will come back, but that's not today.
Yeah, don't hold your breath on that one either.
No.
Nope.
I ride it. I'm kind of like Sean, where there's enough. At least it has Figment in it now, so it's enough of a tie to the childhood that I don't mind it. I don't go out of my way to do it every trip, but it's if I walk by and I've got nothing pressing to do right then I'll stop and take a trip through there. So
a little trivia for you guys. Go ahead.
No, you got it.
I'll say a little trivia. I don't know if we did this with you, Sean, if I brought it up, or when they do the skunk smell, do you know what that scent actually is?
It's like burnt coffee or something like that, isn't it? Or burnt something, burnt marshmallows or burnt something.
It's coffee. I think people see the word skunk and like just automatically assume it's bad, and they just, I don't know if it's a sensory type thing, I would imagine, but it's actually the scent of coffee.
Well,
oh, really?
Yeah.
Coffee stinks as it is, so either way, whether it's really coffee or a skunk, it's going to smell bad to me.
So I'm going to stay in Epcot for my last two here, and one of them is an attraction that is leaving that Scott actually says that he enjoys, and that's the Universe of Energy. I think it's an awful attraction just because it hasn't been updated in like 5 decades. So I like the idea of it. I just wish that it was an attraction that had given some love, and it's a little bit too long at like 40-something minutes. It's just It's a little bit too long. So therefore, that's on my list. It's not I've been on worse attractions. It's just the length of it that really makes me not want to go to do it. So that's that, and that it needs to be updated. So there's not much else I can say about it.
Yeah, I agree with you. Well, I mean, I didn't put it on the list because I kind of forgot about it, but I wish that they had the spinny cubes out in the queue before you go in, like back in the day.
Right.
And I wish they just took Ellen out of it because I can't stand Ellen, but I don't know the last time I've been on that attraction, so yes, it needs to go.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely dated, and it could have used some love, but not Guardians of the Galaxy love. There's a lot they could have done. I still love the attraction. Maybe it's part of it is the fact that it is 45 minutes and it's air conditioned, but to me, it's more the overall. I love Jeopardy, love Ellen, love Bill Nye, but the whole ride vehicle system and the solar panels and how it all does it, and love the dinosaurs. I don't know. It's one of those things, I guess, just from going on early trips and just always going back to it.
But I mean, you see the dinosaurs for what, 2 minutes, and then you still got another 38 minutes to sit through. So, all right. Next on my list, and Sean, I'm sorry, but I have to do this. Your girl Ariel in Hollywood Studios. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, sorry, I can't do that show.
Wow.
Okay, does everybody notice something yet? There's a pattern with this guy.
Another song theater show.
Yes,
but I like.
He doesn't like music,
and it's a classic.
He doesn't like a classic. He doesn't like princesses. Just listen. I don't know why he likes Disney World. It's princesses and Mickey. I mean, Matt, come on.
I like Mickey.
Yeah, because he doesn't sing.
I like I like Nemo, the musical Nemo.
Matt, the seaweed is always greener in somebody else's lake.
It is, and I enjoy the Little Mermaid attraction in Magic Kingdom. The show I don't like. Sorry, me and my wife did it once, and we looked at each other and were like, we will never do this again.
But I definitely notice a pattern. It just has to do with musicals. You're not a fan of musicals, but you don't really like musicals anyway. When it comes to movies, necessarily.
Correct.
Maybe, yeah. So I mean, that's the reasoning for it. So at least we know
that. And I'm just a cold man that hates everything. You know, unicorns and rainbows and puppies and all that.
You don't like puppies?
Of course not.
Send your hate mail. Matt@enchantedtikitalk.com. Send your love to Sean at enchantedtikitalk.com and Scott at enchantedtikitalk.com.
Yeah. Let me know how many of those you get.
And send your foot fungus questions to Keith at enchantedtikitalk.com.
He'll get more email than we do.
I know. Like, oh, Keith, tell us about your foot fungus. I didn't have a foot. What are you talking about? They mentioned it on the show. I don't have a foot fungus.
Make sure you email and you include pictures of it.
Right. Yeah.
Oh. That's just wrong.
It is.
There's nothing right about any of it.
No, there's not. I think we're on our last one, right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
So I was going back and forth trying to figure out what to put on mine. And it's not that I necessarily hate this attraction. It's just another one of those that they could do so much more to it. But I had to put Swiss Family Treehouse on it.
Oh. I got to think about that for a second.
I love it from the top for views, especially during fireworks. But overall, it's just, I'm fine without it.
I would say it had been a long time since I had done it. This last trip I went up there with my oldest, and granted he didn't spend a lot of time looking at the rooms and stuff. He more enjoyed that he was climbing up the top of a tree and going back down. So that kind of renewed, for me. I still wouldn't be heartbroken if it left, but it's kind of one of those classic things that I enjoy. I walk by and I'm like, I should take time to go up there, and I just keep on walking. But I don't know. I wouldn't lose sleep if it left, but I don't necessarily hate it either.
I always walk by saying, like, I need to do that, I need to do that, I need to take Connor on it and let him experience, because you never know when it is going to leave. If it left, I think I would be upset. I don't know. I have to get more into that mindset for it. But I don't think it's a bad attraction at all. I think it's an attraction visually. I think there's so much to see on that. Walking through, you can walk on that multiple times and not see everything. So I think just because of that, it's got repeatability to it. So I don't think it should be listed on the worst attractions because of that. But if you wanted to put it on the list just because there's so much steps involved and it's hard for a lot of people to do, I can understand that. But I just think because when it comes to nighttime, the view is completely different versus the day. There's so much to see. There's so much to talk about, especially if you have a young kid with you, to point out different things and get them maybe involved in reading, like trying to get them to understand, like, what is the Swiss Family Robinson? Maybe get them to read, the book about it and have a better understanding on it. So I think it's something that educational, I think it's good, and something just to talk about with your kids is another fun thing. And it's just a classic attraction. I remember going that, not riding that, but walking that as a kid and loving it, loving seeing everything, the beds, how they were living in a treehouse. I mean, that's every boy's dream is to live in a treehouse.
Right.
I'm actually surprised it has stayed there this long because it is so limited to who can actually visit it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I just laugh that anytime I walk by, it has wait time 0 minutes. Like, why do you even have a wait time listed for this?
Right, yeah.
I guess don't all the attractions have? I guess they feel like they have to include it. They don't want to hurt its feelings.
It could be. So last on mine is also in Epcot, and this goes to, while I really like the queue for this attraction, I think the queue is great, I don't like the attraction because it makes me throw up, and that is Mission Space. Now, Mission Space, I know you have the green and the orange and the purple and the pink version of it. You know, there's so many
And now
versions
light
of it.
green.
Light green. Yeah. So I think what would make this attraction better is if not everybody pressed the buttons. Like if everybody didn't do their job, something different should happen to your ship in the landing.
Right.
Like I think that's like the worst part about it, because you're supposed to press a button to make something happen, and if you don't press it, it still happens. I think that they should add something to it that if you don't do it, you know, there's four people going to there, I believe, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And so have five different variations to the show. If they don't press it, if nobody presses it, you land different. You overshoot it by miles and miles and miles, or you cause serious damage. Yeah, something. I mean, you're not going to die in a Disney attraction, but the threat of it's there. But just make it. Take that extra step and make it just a little bit more interactive. I think it would be better. Other than that, I think riding that attraction once for me. I think I've done that 3 times. That's 3 times is enough.
Yeah, I've done the attraction once. I don't hate it. I would like to go back and actually do the orange just to see what it's like. But when I did ride it, my wife got on, and we were one of the ones that, you know, it was just the two of us, so the whole thing wasn't full.
Right.
And she starts kind of not necessarily freaking out, but she's like, what are we going to do? This person's not over there to push this button. Do I have to reach over here? And I start kind of flipping some of the, you know, the fake switches or whatever.
Right.
Yep.
And she's like, don't touch that. Don't touch that. Don't touch that. I don't want anything to happen. I'm like, they don't do anything. They're just switches. It's nothing. But that was funny.
Yeah.
When I first would go on it back before they had orange and green, I remember the very first time I felt like I was going to get motion sick, which I don't normally get motion sick on anything. But now I've learned to do exactly that, Matt, is I go and I'll literally, as like before you go and launch or anything else, I just preoccupy my mind and just flip every switch and press every button. So I'm sure anyone that's with me I probably drive them crazy. What is this one? Does it turn a light on? Does it change this one? What does that button do?
All right, so the last one. Do you want to take a guess? Do you think you've got it figured out?
What's another? Festival Lion King or Nemo? Oh, no, you like Nemo. Frozen Sing Along. You've not done that, so you can't pick that one.
Yeah, I've never done that.
It's another movie.
Country Bears.
No, you're all wrong. It's actually the Speedway, and I'm kind of torn on this because my son enjoys it. So, you know, I'm glad I get to do something with him, but I can't stand the attraction. I can't stand walking by and feeling like you need a respirator because you're inhaling all the gas fumes, and then I have to get off and have to be in a neck brace because my son cannot keep the thing straight where you're not bouncing off the track, you know, every 2 seconds. And I don't know. I would like to see it gone.
I'm torn on that one. I don't like the smell of the exhaust and the loud and everything else with it, but you know, the last few times I've done it, it was Cooper's first time of driving. The time before that was going with Sean and Kelsey, which was one of the funnest things I've ever done. So I've got good memories. I'm one that I wouldn't mind if it went away, though. It's
one of those attractions that's like a rite of passage for young kids. So I'd be upset if it kind of went away, but in some ways there's so much space over there. There's you could put a couple attractions over there, and that would be great. But I think if they enclosed the queue, made it air conditioning, because when you're out there, man, it's just hotter and the fumes just kill you. The fumes are awful. So I mean, either way, I don't know if it goes, I'd be upset if it goes, but I think that something needs to be done. I think they need to update it as well. If it's going to stick around.
Make them all
Teslas.
Green. I was going to say, make them all electric or something like that, where you don't have to suffocate while you're standing in line.
Right, exactly.
All right, so that's going to do it for this week. First, we want to thank our sponsors, Kingdom Strollers. Kingdom Strollers provides premium stroller and crib rentals delivered straight to your Disney resort. For more information, please visit kingdomstrollers.com. Check out Mickey Monthly to have magic from the parks delivered straight to your door. Visit mickeymonthly.com for more information. Also, head over to myfantasybands.com where you can get customized Magic Band covers for your next Walt Disney World vacation. You can use the code EnchankedTikiTalk20 to save 20% off your custom order at myfantasybands.com. Be sure to let us know what you thought about the show. Head over to EnchantedTikiTalk.com or Facebook.com/EnchantedTikiTalk to leave a comment about the show. You may email us at podcast@enchantedtikitalk.com and leave us a message on the Tiki Talk hotline, which is 256-4MY-TIKI. That's 256-469-8454. Check out our store at redbubble.com and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Tiki Talk Podcast. Lastly, if you enjoyed the show, please take the time to rate us on iTunes.
And you can follow me on Twitter at 1 Minute Disney Dream. That's 1MIN Disney Dream. And for your Disney vacation needs, Mouse Pros Travel and Mouse World, mousepros.com and Mouse World. Oh God, forget it. And you can follow, and you can also find Keith at footfungus.com under username Dole Whip Daily.
And you can find me on Twitter at Scotty Campbell or on Instagram at ScottyBoy.
I'm on Instagram and Twitter at mholly579. With all that being said, Alan, take it away, bud.
Thanks for listening this week for Sean and Keith and Matt. I'm Alan, and this has been Enchanted Tiki Talk. Aloha.
Did my text throw you off there, Sean?
I didn't even see that. I didn't see it.
I thought you were reading my
it didn't
text
come
and you were
through.
trying to hear
No.
it. I had a perfect one for you to do for Keith.
Oh, man. You got to save that for another time.
Okay, so I was completely not ready for that show. I had saw the text about the, was it the boring attractions?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I had everything ready for boring. Then y'all started talking about things we hate, and I'm like, wait a minute.
I almost put Country Bear instead of Swiss Family on mine.
Oh, man.
I was like, yeah, no, that'll definitely get some hate, and Keith will not like that one.
That's why you should have done it, just for that.
I know. It was definitely probably going to be my first honorable mention, though.
We forgot honorable mentions. All right, so honorable mention here, I would definitely throw in, man, I don't know. Like, what would I throw in there?
The Mustardo attraction.
The Mustardo! I mean, I wouldn't throw Country Bears in there. I don't like the attraction, but I don't like it at all. It's just, I don't like it. My brain stopped working.
Another one which I was so tempted to put on there, and it's again, I mean, it's just like I said with Treehouse. I don't hate it, but I almost put Pan, only because the attraction is so dang short for how long you have to wait for it, and that one could easily be updated to look so much better, I think.
But see, that's what I like about it, about the attraction. It's the charm of it, the old school dark ride. There's nothing high tech about it. That's what I love about it.
Yeah, I enjoy it, but like you're saying, you do a hell of a lot more waiting than you do.
Right.
I mean, you have to ride it 5 or 6 times to make up the time that you stand in line for it.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely should be double the length. It should,
If I had never been to Disney before and saw a 2-hour wait for this and went into it thinking it's going to be one of the best things, and then was on it for 30 seconds and saw that, I would have been probably quite upset.
Yeah, it's one thing having a 2-hour wait for Splash Mountain. It's another thing having a 2-hour wait for that, yes.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, look at, say, Space Mountain and the Mine Train and, I mean, to a degree, Thunder Mountain. I mean, you can stand in line there for, hour and a half, and then it's not a long ride. I mean, it's maybe a little bit longer. As I say, maybe a little bit longer than Pan, but, it's kind of a...
I'd wait in the line for the thrill aspect of it, though.
Depends.
I mean, to me, and the whole, the black light, everything, to me, you can see everything, and it's like people want to do spitballs and throw their gum, and to me, Pan always just seems dirty.
I used to get the biggest kick out of seeing how many stamps I had on my hand from where you had gone out of the parks when you went through those black lights.
That's funny.
That's right, yeah. The funny thing is like you're talking about the stamps, is like, I still hear people leaving the park saying like, oh, do I need to get my hand stamped? Like, you know how many years it's been since they've done hand stamps?
Right.
But I mean, they still, to a degree, they still do it. Like where did I just go that they did that?
Oh, I'm sure some
Busch
parks, a lot of them
Gardens
still do it.
I think it was Busch Gardens that. I know the Carowinds here, but Carowinds is a small part. But
Six
Busch
Flags probably still does it.
I know Busch Gardens in Virginia does it.
It's funny hearing that, like, because you're so used to Disney World,
right?
You don't need a hand stamp,
right? But I miss it though.
The good old days. I miss the pricing back then.
Oh yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. Who doesn't?
Boy, were my parents lucky.
Oh man.
Right?
Enchanted Tiki Talk has been brought to you by MousePros.com. Log on to MousePros.com to plan your perfect Disney vacation. And Mickey Monthly, where you can get the park sent directly to you. And by Kingdom Strollers. Visit KingdomStrollers.com on your next visit to Orlando, or call 407-271-5301 for premium stroller and crib rentals. Thanks for listening to Enchanted Tiki Talk.